distinguished guests.
I can't
Those
see.
of dubious distinction.
That's us.
And those of no distinction.
Oh, that's us.
Family, relatives, young and old, in-laws, outlaws, friends, friends of friends, freeloaders and hangers-on. As this was the first time I'd done this, I decided to take some advice. And I was told that a good wedding speech should last no longer than it takes for the groom to make love. So thank you very much. Actually, the advice was, stand up, speak up, and quickly shut up. So I'll try not to keep you too long on their time to make this such a wonderful day. A round of applause, please. I think the weather gods need a special mention. I don't know about all of you here. I've been watching the weather forecast all week, every hour, and it looked awful on Monday and Tuesday. So I'm very thankful for the weather. I hope it continues to shine on both Natalie and Charlie throughout their marriage. Doesn't seem that long ago, though, that Natalie was running around the house, throwing her tantrums, and being a typical preteen and teenager. From an early age, Natalie had an affinity with animals. From the time she damn near trashed her Nana and Papa's cloakroom, having found a large toad in the toilet pan as she was just about to sit down. Clearly the frog was frightened as well, and seeing its only means of escape about to be closed off, and made a leap for freedom, hitting Natalie squarely in the butt. Now that's what I call a toad in the hole. She also has a morbid fear of cows, won't go near them, runs a mile from them. So who would have thought that she'd end up helping to run an animal charity, Harper Asprey? But she does, and with a passion and commitment that has my utmost respect. Time has really flown by, but she's become a decent, caring, and so she tells us, honest person. She's rarely given us any trouble or cause for worry. She is a perfect daughter. And I'm sure that Charlie will feel a perfect wife. When I met Charlie for the first time, he was polite and quiet. So very quiet. But who can get a word in edgeways when Natalie and all her siblings are around and in full song? Even I can't. But I do remember what a decent young guy he was. When we all went to Egypt for my 50th, a few years ago now, Hamid, the barman, would greet us for 2 weeks, every evening, with, "Where's Charlie the lightweight?" Well, I think we'll all agree he's not a lightweight. We all saw him take his wedding vows earlier and make his commitment to his new wife. I remember before you proposed, you asked for a drink. And after a long 2.5 hours, he finally plucked up the courage and asked for Natalie's hand. Many people feel this is old-fashioned. But Charlie said at the time he wanted to do it right. And that shows you what he's like. A young man of whom his parents can be very, very proud, and we congratulate you. Here's the part I offer up a few worldly thoughts and advice. Natalie, if you want something from Charlie, ask for it. Remember, he's a man and hints don't work. But a little nagging goes a long way. You will find in your marriage that you make all the minor decisions and Charlie makes all the major decisions. Charlie, from here on in, you will find that all future decisions will be of a minor nature. Charlie, consider the words of Oscar Wilde. Women should be loved, not understood. Marriage will bring you many things: loyalty, self-restraint, and obedience, and a whole host of other virtues that you wouldn't have needed if you'd stayed single. Now that you're married, Natalie will always have the last word in every argument. Anything you say thereafter is by default the start of the next argument. Remember, when you buy her flowers, it proves you're guilty. But beware of the far more serious consequences if you don't buy her flowers. And if Natalie says you shouldn't have, I think everyone in this room knows that it's better for you that you did. Put the seat down after you. Spray if you have to. And use the brush if you must. And remember those two invaluable words: yes, dear. Perhaps the best advice comes to the observation of a loving friend, and appropriately with Natalie's profession, our dog Max. Love unconditionally. Make many friends. Eat well. Take time to romp and play every day. Do not lick your bottom in public. Never underestimate the value of a good nap. And most importantly, always trust each other off-leash. Now, Charlie, if you haven't already, you need to let Natalie know who's boss. The way I did this with Karen was I looked her straight in the eyes and I said, honey, you're the boss. Keep four things in mind. The first is love, closely followed by friendship, then tolerance, and then communication. Of course, these are easy to say, they're not so easy to carry out. You must both realise marriage isn't easy, but it's not impossible. Many of us know that everyone faces ups and downs in a life commitment. There is no secret to a happy marriage. You both have to work at it. There is no challenge, however, in a marriage that cannot be overcome by the three-word sentences. And these are: I was wrong. You were right. I love you. And Charlie, always kiss your wife goodnight. Remember that marriage is like a deck of cards. At first, all you need is two hearts and a diamond. A few years later, you could really make use of a club and a spade. Natalie and Charlie, here's to the past for all that you've learned. Here's to the present for all that you share. And here's to the future for all that you can look forward together. And finally, a few words from a poem from your granddad and my dad. May God abundantly bless you both. May you live as long as you wish and have all that you need as long as you live. May the road you choose be smooth and your burdens be light. May your joy be everlasting and may all your pain be champagne. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding and raise your glasses to Natalie and Charlie. May you always be blessed with good health, wealth, and many happy years ahead. Mr. and Mrs. Phillips.
Mr. and Mrs. Phillips.
Haven't changed, had much to say, but man, I still think them cats are crazy.